Actually, one thing that I think is pretty ill. Let me see how it comes out. If it comes out on, let me see. How can I flip it? Tell me. I hope this is not too family of a show, but tell me if you could see.
I could. You got to put it lower, a little lower. Yes, right there. Nah, I can't. I'm sure. Okay, hold on. Preach on me. What it
So
says?
this is from promo stuff. From
Yes.
Luke. Yeah, and I have a couple of these joints, but I always thought these were hilarious. Let me see if I can get it back in here, because this fucking iPhone got like 4. There you go.
There you go. Freak for life. Woo!
And going through my stuff, I found my old joint.
Yes.
And then, everybody asking me, and this is actually one of two that I have. This became famous on Drink Champs when I pulled it out. People was clowning, but this is pride and joy right here. I'm sure you might even have one of these, because he would throw these out.
I got a story, but go.
Yeah, no,
All right.
There's a great story behind the tennis balls.
Go for it.
KRS-One. I mean, well, I'll tell you this. So, to try to make it quick, it's the early 90s. We had a club called the Underground Compound. It was in an abandoned movie theater close to Wynwood. It wasn't in Wynwood. I'd have been in Overtown. So KRS-One was performing there. It gets shut down. As we're getting there, the cops are in front of it, because it was like an underground club. And we turn on the pirate radio station. Actually, I think it was the Funk Box, which was actually public radio. A Saturday night Funk Box, if I'm not wrong. And then they say, if you're going to KRS-One, they gave another address, head over there. And boom, we head over there. I forget how the politics was at the door, but you get in. They were not prepared for a show. It was like a warehouse. AC hadn't been on. Shit is hot as fuck. They brought in 2 regular stereo speakers from someone's house.
Go.
And some little rinky-dinky mic that when Chris finally gets on the stage, I think the mic wasn't even worth him using. So he just goes off of his regular vocals. It's so tight and so hot that people start fainting in that motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
And then he's throwing these joints out.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the most memorable shows I've ever been to. It was a crazy show, man.
So I hosted a Red Bull event, the first Red Bull BC1 with KRS-One, and we're
Right.
backstage between the sets, and I had a pair of like one of 70 Nikes. I'm not like a sneaker enthusiast at that level. I just somebody sends me stuff, we got that good fortune. And I asked him to autograph it, and he told me no. Maybe he had some issues on like signing Nike, and he had the classic thing. So I kind of felt the way about it. I'm like, I'm working with you, B. Like, so then when I went backstage, I found that there was a box of books that he autographed. So I took all the books.
Wow.
And this is his the Gospel of Hip Hop KRS-One, and I gave them out to my friends.
Oh, that's dope.
So this is my KRS-One autograph right there. But he's definitely one of those artists whose catalog, super respect, and salute to all of y'all with the tennis balls. That's hilarious. I love it. Keep going.
People need to post the picture of the tennis balls. I know he does it often, and I think he still does it to this day. But it was epic, man. Another thing that when I was just looking around stuff that I found that, it isn't necessarily like, I don't know. I think it's kind of ill.
DJ EFN, at what age did you leave Los Angeles?
It's kind of a little blurry, but it probably around like the first time around 4 or 5, my parents had divorced and my dad moved to Miami, and they kept trying to work it out. So we kept flying back and forth.
Okay, amazing. So then you're like, is it in Miami? You're doing high school, and before you fall onto DJ EFN and it being a DJ, what other elements are you introduced to as a kid coming up?
Talking about hip hop?
Of course.
I mean everything. I mean it was just a part of everyday life to be a b-boy, to to do graffiti. It wasn't like I was out there trying. It was just a part of, you didn't know you were hip hop till you learned that it was hip hop.
Yes.
I was already living it. We were already, immersed in the culture. It was nothing new. I just ended up, like, I already had been listening to the music called rap music, but it wasn't a little bit later, maybe like end of junior high, that I started to realize, oh, this is an entire culture. This is hip hop.
For sure. And
it just changed my life after that.
For sure. And are you referred to as anything else before you landed on DJ EFN?
My friends, my name is Eric, and that's EFN is all my initials, so people you just call me E. So,
which is amazing. So you come out and you start hearing the movement in New York City with the mixtapes with Tony Touch and N.O.R.E. Right. And then you wanted to create a platform for not only your city but the artists around. And I actually love that you wanted to hear references to like the neighborhoods around your way. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, like people might take it as a nod to the New York tapes, but it wasn't, because we was loving those tapes out here. But at that time frame, specifically that time frame, Miami was one of these cities that wasn't respected in hip hop, like a lot of other cities that were the B markets, other than New York and LA, and then Atlanta was bubbling. So we were trying to get our respect. And one of the lanes that I found was the mixtape lane. And I said, all right, well, these mixtapes we're getting, I love them, Tony Touch, Clue, Ron G, Doo-Wop, but I can't really understand that everybody out here is just listening and saying shout out to Brooklyn, shout out to Queens, when that's, not our reality. So I want to give the same flavor you get on these mixtapes, but sprinkle it with some Miami in there.
I'm not too sure if you know who kind of really inspired Tony Touch how to scratch.
Nah, he didn't mention it to me.
Yeah, so this is Magic Mike.
Oh, from Florida, yeah.
Yeah, Magic, because Tony has a history in Orlando, and when he was young, he'd see him rock. And I've been down with Tony since I was a kid, and he told me that. And it made me get open to, Miami sound. Of course, I was already introduced to Two Live Crew by that time. And if that's a fair reference, I always admire it because, Richard Pryor was released on that label, on Luke. So I was like admiring from a youngster as far as what was going on down there. But then you continue to do that, and you made a name for yourself through these mixtapes. Yeah. That ends up you getting into more your evolution of you getting into promotions and marketing and creating an impact. Of course, we're proud of you for what you did for not only the hip hop scene, but you're also introducing people to your own. You're curating it the way you want to do it, right. And it was amazing. But then you come to a point where you're able to bring brands and introduce them to the Miami market and surrounding areas. What was it like to have those, respected corporate brands as clients?
I mean, really, it was a way to just survive being a creative. Like, if I wanted to actually do the industry side, the music industry, the business side of hip hop, and make it a career, I need to find any means of revenue from anywhere I can. And my crew was already known, because we were like, at one point we were like 20 deep coming out of high school, and we were hitting the streets with our mixtapes and the trunk of the car with shirts and the mixtapes and all this stuff, and flyers and stickers and posters, and doing everything ourselves. So people started like saying, hey, could you do that for our brand? I mean, there's a longer story to it, but eventually I just saw an end to being able to make money still within the umbrella of this music industry, specifically the hip hop. And I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever's going to keep the dream alive, let's do it. Because even though the mixtape started moving, I'm still investing money in it. It isn't really making like a living yet. I'm developing artists. I got an independent record label. I'm managing artists. I opened up a store called Crazy Goods in '97.
Beautiful.
So all of this is, my whole mentality is invest. But I don't come from money, so I just got to find this money wherever I could get it.
I love it. Well, to let you know, David Geffen when people watch Shrek, they're probably thinking they're just watching Shrek done by DreamWorks. One of the partners is David Geffen, who started Geffen Records. He used to make a business card and said he was the manager of the record label. He didn't say he owned it. The reason why is because he won't be representing as the owner, because the person doing business with him would be a little bit more like, but he'll act like there was a higher ranking going on under him, and it kept him hustling and doing the OPM, which is other people's money.
He's the first undercover boss?
Yeah. But then you go on, and obviously in that time, you are doing, your college radio. You're still getting your feet. You still have your feet in there, doing that, and then you move on to. Did you go secular? Did you do that stuff as well, like outside of college?
I was college radio. I had to debo my way into the UM radio station. I didn't go to UM. I knew the people that had the hip hop show, and the young lady at the time that was doing it. I was like, look, I'll bring my turntables. Just let me rock my mixes every time you do the show. And she let me. So that had me on college radio. But then the big thing in Miami is pirate radio. And I was on a bunch of stations. At one point, me and Khaled were in two different apartments where he was above me in Mix 96. And I was at another station, and we were like rival stations and stuff.
Amazing, which is great. And then you release an album, but we're gonna get there because that was sort of recently. Right. But the way the way I connected with you is, of course, I knew what you were doing, but I admired it because I know that you are of a demographic who has to work hard to kind of attain the things. Like you said, you had to debo your way into certain situations. When I went to Peru, and I remembered watching your Coming Home, which was, it wasn't so much eye-opening because I deal with a lot of b-boys around the world, so I know the impact of our culture, but it was great to see it on the platform the way you did it. So just to let everybody, our viewers know, this gentleman here did an episode in Cuba, right? Where it was a documentary that you did, and then you just continued it, right, where you went to other countries that landed on Revolt later on. And I think that's how I caught it, but I was just so happy that these stories were being told. If you could continue elaborating on how important was that for you?
Just to go back to Revolt, we were the first original acquisition on Revolt TV when they launched the network in 2013. But Coming Home started with Cuba. Cuba was the first film. I was following my roots. I always wanted to go to Cuba. But if you're Cuban American, you kind of know the politics and the taboo-ness from a certain generation of Cubans, like my parents that came here after the revolution. So it took a while to finally make that trip. But when I made it, I was like, I'm going to connect with the hip hop heads out there, and I'm going to film the whole experience. It was my first time ever trying to do a film. Me and my boy Garcia, who was an MC under my label, and he still is. He's now a big music video director as well.
Beautiful.
We went together with the crew, some of the crew, and we filmed it, came back, put it together, and it went to film festivals. It won some awards, and it got a lot of fanfare, and people were telling me, man, I really want to go and follow my roots also, and this, that. And I was a big fan of Anthony Bourdain.
Yes.
I loved the way that he used what he did in life, which was he was a chef, but his series wasn't necessarily about food. He used food, what he knew, to have that conversation, that conduit for real conversation. So I wanted to do that with hip hop, like use hip hop to really have that real conversation and learn about the country. So we did Cuba, we did Peru, we did Haiti, we did Vietnam,
wow,
Colombia, which hasn't been publicly released yet, and we're in post-production right now editing South Africa.
Wow, spectacular. Yeah. And when I was in Peru, that's when me and you had sent some messages to each other, and you opened that whole world up to me as I was living out there hosting for the Pan American Games. The episode that I had with Crazy Legs, he showed a pair of Adidas that was supposed to represent the Pan American team
right,
representing Cuba, but it was of the Puerto Rican flag.
Oh.
So he bought it and it said Cuba on it, but it was a pretty hilarious thing that he got it, but he explained to Adidas, this is wrong, and they took it off the shelf. But as far as because we're talking about your ethnicity and stuff, does that play a factor in how much you have to fight? I mean, you are in Miami, so I was just there for the Super Bowl, so I admire how you guys have a kind of an ecosystem to succeed over there. Right. But has that ever been a factor in this game for you?
Yeah, I mean, always. I think like anybody else, any other Latino, and especially in Miami, there's like layers of barriers to overcome, especially in the era that we were coming out of in the 90's, where when the industry kind of just takes stereotypes and you know, they the machine cranks out what it wants to crank out, and we're not playing a part of that. Like we're not that stereotype for them. So being a Cuban American from Miami, from the South, you know, there's all these different layers. We were fighting constantly, trying to get respect and be respected within our own city and nationally as well. So, but you know, eventually, you know, a lot of things fell through. But I feel like it's a never-ending battle. You know, even like, for example, like, you know, I was the young dude doing it, starting my company in 93, 17 years old. And I know what it is to be a young person in the game. So I can actually identify with young folks doing it. And then now I'm the older dude doing it. So there's all kinds of different barriers to that, you know, and I keep the white on purpose. Like I was like, you know what, be proud of you know, of your evolution of your age. I think the ageism shit in art, get out of here with that, you know?
For sure. Yeah. Go.
You know, trying to network. We didn't know anybody in the scene. So I would go to the conferences and I would meet folks. And I just thought it was ill to find this book of business cards that I collected. Like, look, Buckshot had his business card. Remember Blunt Recordings, Rockefeller, Super Mario at Bad Boy. Let's see what other joints. Got the homies from Slip and Slide, the home team right there.
Woo!
All these, like, brings back so many memories. Looking at the hustle back then, just trying to link and network with people.
Oh my God, this is beautiful. We had somebody show us Diddy's business card, and there's a guy who has it framed. He has Tupac's business card.
Yeah.
This is great for all you guys. If this is your first time tuning in ever, this is Showoff Your Gems, where we go through you know, music memorabilia, collector's items, even beyond music. So we got EFN. Let's go.
Look, unentertainment. Let me see what's going on there. I know I got some of the crazy ones in here. Remember Ola Records?
Of course. Ola Records. Of course. That was Jelly Bean Benitez. Yep. They had a girl named Veronica out there who had a dope album
Veronica,
and a song with Pun.
Woo, I got that record. Look at that. Exhibits, booking agent number written down, Channel Live. I know you had Hakeem. Shout out to Hakeem. What else I got there? Let's see. Earwax. This is one of the first record stores out of Miami that started holding my mixtapes in Atlanta. And then This is another one. This is where I met Camilo. I think he worked there. And I got my
Numbers, yeah. Camilo, so this is Numbers, which is in Jackson Heights, Queens, closed now, but it was definitely in the hood for Camilo.
Look, check this out. Easy Moby.
Yes.
I hope that's not his number anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me see what else we got here. You know, I had to have the beeper card to get my beeper fixed.
Yes. Anybody who had a beeper in here, put a gem emoji. If you had a beeper, let's go.
And rest in peace to my homie Roll Up. He's a Miami pioneer that was a big part of like people like Khaled's careers and helped me a lot. And he passed away. So rest in peace to him.
Beautiful.
If anybody knows DJ Heron out of Miami, Florida Room, that's his crew. That was his crew back then, at least. Let's see what else we got here.
What's that? Remember business card?
Who where? Yeah. Look at this. Riggs Morales. Shout out to Riggs. This is when he was at the Source doing Unsigned Hype. I met him at the Source. Me and my boys went in there. They called us the Spanish Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes. Racist staff.
The Backway was a store in Miami, a hip-hop store. Remember Kadar Entertainment?
Yes.
Oh, look.
D'Angelo.
Loud Records, another Numbers and Tapes. Is the same one? Oh, Naughty by Nature card. Look, Vinny. Yep, that's pretty much it right there.
That's amazing, brother. Thank you, because even I saved mine. I got like DJ Drama's business card from like when he was a hairy kid like you when you were a 10-year-old niece.
Yo, and you know what else is bugged out that I found when I was trying to find some other shit to bring? Let me see. Like, well, this book, I mean, this is not what I was trying to show, but this book is interesting because you know who Burt Padell is?
Burt Padell.
He was like an accountant for like everybody in the game. And Biggie has that line, blowing up like the World Trade Center. Oh, what does he say?
Yes,
he says,
yes, blow up like the World Trade.
But he says Burt Padell. And it's a joint with 112. So yes. I went to this dude's office. It was crazy, and he would give out this book. He did a freaking poem book, but it's just interesting, that dude. But I found this. This was me getting the application to join Zulu Nation.
Yes! Yes!
I didn't even know I had this, dude.
I love that.
Yo, this is bugged out. Let me see what.
Yo, he's showing his application to join Zulu Nation, y'all. That's hearts. That's hearts.
Look at that. It says, and they had the Ill label for their mail. And then you see my Eric Narciandi. That's the E and the N in EFN.
Nice.
So that's pretty bugged out.
That's amazing, brother.
Found some early flyers of mine. This is from my store. Remember those brands?
Of course.
And then a mixtape. And then there's just this stuff was just in the book. I thought this was bugged out. And I kept it because this was like, to me, one of the first corporate campaigns that a hip hop group was doing, you know, especially like a group like Wu-Tang. And I thought it was like, I was like, man, this is different, you know, and it changed a lot of things from that point on.
For sure. So there was a B-boy, I think Zulu Gremlin was out there.
Yep, Zulu Grems.
Yeah. And there was a B-boy event.
The Pro-Am.
Pro-Am, right.
Yeah.
Pro-Am was phenomenal, and it was also something that was well respected in the community. Sponsor. Keep going.
I used to sponsor our store, Crazy Goods. We were sponsors.
That's amazing, and it's really good, and it shows that your heart is in the right place when you pull out a Universal Zulu Nation application, brother. That's phenomenal. So then you and that guy from Queens connect and start doing a SiriusXM show. And that's going along. And then we transition in time where people start getting into this podcast concept.
Right.
And tell me the time between being your regular kind of like standard radio show to transitioning into podcasts, that thought process.
So we did that show you mentioned. We were actually on XM before SiriusXM merged.
Before the bond. Yep.
Yeah, and then they merged. So we did that show for like 2 or 3 years. I don't remember quite how long, but it looked and sounded like Drink Champs. If people check, there's some old clips on YouTube, and we start the show the same way. We drink Tiger Bone. We talk crazy. We just didn't have too many guests because N.O.R.E, he had moved down in my hood in Kendall in Miami, and he was working out of my studio. And this is after he did the reggaeton album, because I was never big on the reggaeton side of things. So he knew that I was just a diehard hip hop head. So when he was done with reggaeton, he moved to Miami. He's like, all right, E, bring me back to hip hop. Let's get back into it. And the first thing we did is I had him do a freestyle over a loop of the My Name is D Nice beat.
Okay.
My name is N.O.R.E. So anyways, so we're working in the studio. We're doing the SiriusXM show. And at the same time, we're throwing around this term Drink Champs. Me and my friends, you know, we're heavy drinkers, Latinos, you know how it is. Caribbean people, not just Latinos, Jamaicans, Haitians.
Racist.
Yeah. But so we would always just say, like, if you couldn't handle your liquor, you're not a drink champ.
Right.
And that was just something that was just thrown around a lot. And N.O.R.E even did a song in our studio that Alchemist produced called Drink Champ.
Okay.
And it was all revolving around that atmosphere. But again, the name and what it would become had nothing to do with each other at that point.
Okay.
I thought it was a dope slogan, and I just looked it up and I said, does anybody own this? Nobody does. I'm like, that's crazy. All right. So I grabbed the .com, I grabbed the Twitter, I grabbed the IG, I get the IP.
Beautiful.
You know? And then me and N.O.R.E, we stopped doing the show. N.O.R.E went on tour with Capone to promote a new album, a new CNN album. They went to Europe. I'm managing this group Mayday out of Miami.
Which I love.
Thank you.
They had that first album, It Feels What It's Like, Ground Terrified, Blood Heart and Light Down.
That's not their first album, but
that's the one. That's the one that DJ Eclipse, he was like, yo, you heard of this group? And I was like, bro, this is amazing.
Yeah, Recognize is a part of the group. A lot of people might know Recognize back in the days from the MTV freestyle battle that he won. But so I went on tour with them. That was my priority at the time. I was busy with them. We signed to Strange Music, Tech N9ne's label, and they tour like you wouldn't even believe it. So we were busy. Me and N.O.R.E were busy. But I was like, man, I really enjoyed, because that show we didn't make any money off of it. The SiriusXM show. It was just purely fun. So I was like, man, I really want to do something like that. And my boy Godfrey, he has a show called Gamer Tag Radio. This dude's from my hood. He's like in the podcast Hall of Fame, this dude. And he started pushing on me. He's like, he's like advocating for podcasting. And what I noticed that podcasters were like, yeah, everybody should podcast. You know, where in other things you kind of keep it to yourself. Like, nah, man, you got something to say? Podcast.
Yeah.
So he was telling me, and then, you know, I would tell N.O.R.E, and he was like, he didn't really know what it was. And hip hop at the time it was like a nerdy computer thing.
For sure.
But I saw it, man. I saw the future of it. So I kept nagging N.O.R.E. I'm like, look, man, let's do this podcast thing. And, you know, push come to shove, a couple of years passed. We actually got offered a deal with Loudspeakers Network, where Combat Jack was at. Rest in peace to him. Sure. But it didn't pan out. And then my boy Godfrey got distributed through CBS Radio, and he's like, yo, you want me to make the intro? I'm like, let's do it. N.O.R.E loved the idea of CBS Radio at the time.
Yeah.
We did a demo. It was Fat Joe and then Kenny Anderson were the two demo episodes, the two pilots. And then N.O.R.E was ready, and I said, look, man, Drink Champs, I got it ready to go. And he was like, let's do it. And that was March of 2016.
Wow. That's amazing. And now you guys, on an average, I read it was 5 million per month. And this is a great thing. I want to scale back, and I just want the viewers and everyone to know. So like DJ EFN, I embrace evolution. I'm a hip hop kid, and I am also of Latin descent. And I say that because I didn't grow up listening to reggaeton, but and I'm sure he does, respect it as its own genre. And rightfully as the way people were looking at hip hop and trying to diss it, I'm sure. So it bothers me more when other Latinos feel they can diss it to feel like they're part of the cool crowd, but they're not. So I just, I look at soccer the same way. Like a lot of people, I don't mess with soccer. But listen, those are the only two things in entertainment that America looks at and like, okay, that's right, they're there. So I just want to say, somebody mentioned the No Reggaeton song that NEMS has. I'm sorry, EFN. I usually don't respond to comments, but I even checked NEMS on why did he call that. The reason why is because I don't feel it's right to be on Front Street dissing your own people trying to win. There's not a lot of opportunities for us. Tell me how many movies that Rita Moreno, who's an EGOT, has been other than Grease, other than West Side Story. It's tough out there. But I just want to tell you guys, he said he did it for a reason, kind of like of what you're saying. He is of Latino descent, but it's not. Don't expect reggaeton. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I understood it, and he
it's sorry to, but it's kind of like Miami too, like how Miami bass was so prevalent and strong coming out of Miami. It's a part of our culture in Miami. Like nobody that's really from Miami will ever diss Miami bass, Luke, Two Life Crew, Gucci Crew, Poison Clan, none of that stuff. That's a part of us. But my lane was this diehard boom bap hip hop, and I wanted to represent that for Miami. That doesn't mean I don't like Miami bass and don't represent that as well. This is just the lane that I'm picking. That's kind of like the way I look at reggaeton. Like as a Latino in the States, you know, they were always like, oh, what do you do, salsa? You do merengue, man? You do that Latin bass? Like,
right.
Relax, buddy. You know, so
there's a show, Beauty and the Baker and the Beauty, based in Miami, and one of the characters is a DJ, and they hit him with all those stereotypes, and he's like, nah, I want to do everything else you're not doing in my vernacular.
Right.
So, but I admire that, and I just kind of want to say that you know, we are allowed to expand, but we definitely should be more be in solidarity with others trying to shine.
Absolutely.
But moving forward, you know, once again, people after this, check out this Coming Home. Of course, you guys know of the Drink Champs success, and I loved it because I looked at you as the straight man. You know, there's the Jerry Lewis, there's the Dean Martin.
Right.
When I did the show with Static Select on SiriusXM, which I don't get paid for either,
right.
You know, just I put that out there so people could know this is a real game here that we're playing. I'm a wild guy, and so is Static. So I needed to find a place where we can kind of be, you know, just give good quality. So, yeah. and I see you trying. I know sometimes it's hard because you want to get in on it.
Right.
But I like that you like ring it in sometimes. Is it hard? And what was like some moments that you just couldn't ring in?
I mean, there's a lot of moments that I just can't ring in, but I just don't try to ring it in. I let it just organically flow. I enjoy it as a fan myself sitting there, but I take that role as the DJ role that I've been a part of forever. So I'm the guy in the background. I'm the guy that helps produce the show. You know, I put it together. I don't need to be on the mic spitting lyrics. You know, that's what N.O.R.E's an MC. That's what he does. And I'm not gonna try to like battle him. That's just not me. You know, like that's not my role at all. And I have no problem with that. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't sweat it. You know, I'm happy to be a part of the show and part of the creation of it. I feel like what we did is really special. And I really don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about my role in it or not, because I know my role in it, you know. So, but I love it because towards the end, like when we're doing an episode, if N.O.R.E, you know, if he gets too saucy, and I mean, I'm gonna get saucy too because I'm drinking even if I'm not there.
I know.
But you know, then when things, you know, when he's kind of tired out, then you know, I'll come in with some stuff that I need to say or want to say, you know, and it just works, man. It just works. It's yin and yang, and I've known N.O.R.E forever. We're old friends. Of course, there's things that sometimes we don't get along over a host of things, but we're truly friends. You know, we've known each other forever, and that's what the show is really, you know, it's about and what it's like.
And that's beautiful, and it comes off, and people love how genuine it is, and the unique environment that it's in. You know, sometimes I look at it and I love the caliber of artists that you'll have on there. You know, I salute you for what you've been doing there, but this is Showoff Your Gems, and we've been doing a lot of Japanesing, so let's continue to show off.
All right, let's see, man. Let me see what else I got here for you. Well, I mean, I've been showing these on Mixtape Mondays. These are some of my old tapes right here, and then, you know, I had the Tony Touch one set up from when he was on the show this past Monday actually, and then my prize collection to me is my cassette collection. And I only brought a couple things. But this is really my prize. And, you know, any Latino in hip-hop should know who Mellow Man Ace is. And I'm proud because not only is he Cuban, but he's from L.A. as well. And this is Set Dog's brother from Cypress Hill. And one of the things that I loved about this tape era was the maxi singles.
Yes.
Because the maxi singles had the remixes. They had the B-side joints. Like remember, I know you got some.
But show us. Like beautiful.
This maxi single, precious, man, precious. And if you're from my era, you used to take because they didn't have the hardcovers on the singles, so I would cut it to protect it better and give it that look. And then, you know, this is from N.O.R.E's first album. This is a gem. And the snippet tapes was a thing that were special too. They were like mixtapes.
Yes.
This was another personal favorite. When this came out, crazy. Let's go through these kind of quickly here. I think this is one of the joints that I might have cut up. Who remembers Boss?
Of course, Def Jam.
I think she's from Michigan, right?
Yes.
She's dope. One of my favorite artists of all time, Ice Cube. Kill at Will. This joint was crazy. Let's see what other joints I got. Oh, remember Young Black Teenagers?
Of course. Of course.
This is one of my favorite joints right here. The remix to Soul by the Pound. Crazy.
What an era. Relativity.
Crazy. Heavy D, rest in peace. This is a crazy maxi single. Latin Lingo. Had mad versions on it. Prince Paul remix. The Fushnikins. Classic.
That's a good one.
Classic NWA. The Coup, if you guys know what's going on. Showbiz and AG. Another one of my favorite albums. You know, I got my West Coast roots. Compton's Most Wanted. Love this cover as well. If I lost the tape cover, then it had to get tagged up.
You had to write on it.
Yep. I think this is one of the best albums of all time. Death Certificate.
I respect that.
And mind you, these are the cassettes that I bought, you know, as a shorty. The originals and shit. Let's see what other joints.
So
you had
EFN, this is the album I lost my virginity to a police officer in the projects.
To a police officer?
Yeah. My friend got shot, and she wanted to console me, and it happened.
So you had Everlast. Did he show you?
Yes. No, we talked. Yes, I have the vinyl, the compilation.
You remember these homies, Trends of Culture?
Yes. Bandula Records.
Remember The King and I? Classic.
Yes, this is classic.
Classic album. Of course, D Nice. This is one of my favorite joints too.
When I first met D Nice, I said, "Hey, I know you know a lot about music. I'm trying to find out about a song. I'll tell you the chorus. Maybe you could tell me who's the artist and what's the name of it." And he said, "Okay, go." I said, "My name is D Nice." And he looked at me like, "Get out of here, shorty."
You remember the Hood Rats?
Of course, my mother's in that group.
Yo, I seen the Beasties documentary the other day, and actually, this was one of my favorite Beastie albums, Paul's Boutique.
Oh my gosh.
This is straight Miami right here. This is the era that I'm coming out of, early 90s. These guys were like local heroes, the last straws. Shout out also to Mother Superior. If you remember this promo from Def Jam, you seen this?
Like
never
a cigarette box.
Yeah, you never seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, it's got the opens up. It's got the whole comic book joint.
Woo!
Yeah, this joint is crazy.
Wait, that art looks familiar. D. Oh, it's got all of them. Oh, it was like a campaign.
Yeah, it was a whole campaign. So I actually got a couple of these. I got one that's unopened as well. And then who didn't have these as a kid? I don't know.
Masters.
I used to buy these when I couldn't find the music, and they would have these compilations, and they had different ones. They had hardcore, they had comedy rap, they had like in comedy rap you'd have like Biz Markie. They had all kinds of versions. So if I couldn't, well, back then I used to steal my tapes, but yeah, I used to grab these joints. And this is another Cameron. It's like the cigarette box type joint. This is unopened.
Beautiful.
And then I'm so hyped about tapes though that I'm getting new tapes.
Yes, I admire that. I love that.
Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. So yeah, man. And then come over here. This is my little wall here at the office. And this tape right here, my mom had to buy this for me because I couldn't buy it. I was too young. I was in junior high. So imagine an old, a mid-aged Cuban woman. Yes, can I get 2 Live Crew?
No, she'll say 2 Live Crew.
Yeah. And then imagine when she heard this bumping out of my room. But yeah, man, this is when Luke super independent because this tape. Let me pull it out. It like doesn't even have, and I got Luke to actually sign this when he was on Drink Champs. But it's the original pressing from like super independent Luke Records version of this.
So tell me about those the kicks, the Drink Champs kicks.
It's a collaboration with Ewing and a local clothing company called 8 and 9 out here. They do all our merch and stuff. We got two different versions of it that came out.
Pull them out. Don't be scared. They're yours.
I know. I got more.
Beautiful.
One side says drink, the other side says champs on these.
We need hearts on that one right there. Woo!
Yeah. We got let me see this one. This is the newer one that came out last year.
Clean. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. And then, my first award I ever got was in Puerto Rico. This is it right here. Shout out to the Time Machine Squad. Crew of B-boys out there.
Beautiful.
I want to shout them out.
They deserve it.
Yeah, man. And then, like I said, I'm still getting memorabilia. I love these collector items they're coming out with. Rest in peace, Biggie. It's his birthday. And then, I got my brand of liquor out here. And, the infamous Tiger Bone is here.
I don't really partake much in drinking, but
that's good for you, bro. Don't.
But I was raised by two very iconic, legendary drinkers.
So yeah, this is the album you're talking about another time.
Yes. Yeah. So you put that together, a compilation, but I love it because I love that you could step out of having to be the face of the situation, because you have, Premier on there doing some stuff too. So tell us about that project, because I know that's something that comes from a place of love.
So as a mixtape DJ, naturally you'd want to put out your own compilation album, like a studio album.
For
where
sure.
It was all exclusively done for you, and you basically A&R and produce the whole joint. So it was something I always wanted to do, but I wasn't in a position to actually do it like the way I really wanted to do it. I said, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. And around 2014, the opportunity came where I felt like it was the time to do it. And I had the time, and I had some resources to do it. And luckily, it was just perfect timing for me, because all the people that I had met up to that point played such an instrumental role. Because to be honest with you, this album would have never been able to have gotten done financially if it was a financial type of, investment, because it would have been way too expensive to have done. It was really all my relationships that I've built over the years, and hopefully, my reputation that was able for me to get this album put together. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you. I still I keep this because this is the board that I wrote. So right before I started the project, I picked out the beats, right? And then I imagined who I wanted on these beats, and I wrote it on a whiteboard. And as I completed songs, I scratched it out. And so I have the board, and you'll see not everybody made it to the album, but damn, it was pretty close. And I'll show you the board right here.
Wow. I love that, bro. It shows discipline. You're putting it down on paper so you look at it, and it also creates kind of like a pressure cooker for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you know what the goal, the bar you're trying to be at.
Yep. So I'm really proud of that album. Shout out to my boy KGB, who also does the Fatherhoods with me. He was a big part of that with me. And it's just, yeah, man, it's people could buy physical. We got cassette tapes, CDs, vinyl. It's obviously you could stream it. I'm really, really proud of the project. We got all kinds of people from Redman to Bum B to Sean P, rest in peace. Buck Wild produced a joint on there. I mean, Royce the 5'9's on there, Juvenile. It's everything I wanted to do in an album, and I wanted to put people together that you couldn't even imagine together sometimes. And you're gonna just, I think that people will understand it when they hear it, as a complete project.
That's amazing. Do you have any other gems you'd like to show?
Man, I mean, shout out to my Def Rugs.
Damn, you have to hit me like that, huh?
Shout out to my homie Scam, who they just released. I can't even open this. I want to, but he did the artwork for the first Eminem album.
Yes, he did. Scam's a good dude. He was out here in New York City trying to put it down.
Great dude. He's a good friend of mine. He did, like, this is one of the first albums on my label. He did that. What else we got?
Vision 4, who was asking about the artwork. Yes, it's done by Scam.
Scam, yeah. He did the Drink Champs logo as well. So shout out to Scam. This is not gems, but this is merch.
Which people could go out there and purchase.
Oh, I did find this. I don't know how important it would be to you, but man, it brought me memories. This jersey, let me put it out.
To me, do you even know what I do in my life?
So I'm not even a sports dude, but back then I was. And Magic Johnson was my favorite basketball player at the time. And this is the Dream Team.
Woo!
The first Dream Team, mind you.
Yes, I respect it.
And then anybody that follows N.O.R.E, this shirt, I keep it because it represents, like, it's so many crazy stories behind this shirt. People damn near died over getting these shirts out here in Miami. N.O.R.E brought damn near all of Left Rack to a show out here. And then, shout out David Banner. Like I said, there's still gems that people can get, from their favorite artists out there.
What is that?
So David Banner put out the God Box project, and he really wanted to do something different with the rollout and the merch for it. And he's always been a real good dude and solid dude with me, and he's always supported me and helped me out. And I copped this. He didn't send it to me. I wanted to support him. And check him out. Go to his at David Banner on his link. He has a dope podcast as well. And it's just in here. You got a flag, you got a shirt, the CD stickers. It's just, the packaging is just amazing. Like, I don't even want to open it. Like, it's just gonna be a time capsule forever.
What is your for people to purchase the items that you created, your merch? So,
merch affiliated with me is crazyhood.com. You could also stream some of the films at crazyhood.com/film, singular, and then drinkchamps.com for Drink Champs merch. And yeah, man, and then I know you don't got time now, but this is another box of gems. All the leaks and freestyles and DAT tapes and stuff that I have here.
That's amazing. Like, because you were showing cassettes, but I like to see cassettes like this, and I'm sure you might have some and you didn't think of. So what this is right here, this is Adolf Aguilar was signed to East West Records.
Of course I know Adolf.
And
Adolf the Assassin.
This project never came out, but this is the album of what would have been.
Like, in here I have, remember when Murder Inc. was a group, not the label. It was Rule, DMX, and Jay-Z. Somewhere in here, I got the leak from that. I got all kinds of shit here, man. I did a mixtape with Who Kids, so joints here. Did a mixtape with K Slay, so some of the files are here. N.O.R.E, Pharrell, and Terry Drop.
He can't even read his own handwriting.
Yeah, that's actually not my handwriting.
That's Sunset High School.
Rest in peace, Guru.
Yes.
One of my mixtapes hosted by him. Well, yeah, I got a ton of Cormega stuff as well.
And now you didn't go to Miami University, but you did do 2 years, right?
So I did. I started to go to college right out of high school, and it just, I was just so deep in this music thing that I wanted to do and the books just never called my attention. I just wasn't the book dude.
Right.
So I didn't do it. But the thing is that my mom worked at the local community college. So because she worked there, I could actually go, tuition free. So she was hella disappointed in me that I didn't finish. So one summer, years later, when she went to LA to visit family, I checked in and I said, yo, how many credits do I need? And they were like, oh, you need like 4 credits to finish your degree. And I was like, I'm going to go in there, knock it out. Mom gets back, show her the degree. She thought it was a fake. But yeah, that's the story how I got my degree.
That is an amazing story. That is a very beautiful gem.
Yo, and everybody needs to check out that Bounty Killer and Beanie verses that's gonna happen. So I'm pulling out some of my 45s.
Nice. Now, if I could ask you, what is something, or if you can, what is it like to show people the items that you have and the things that you're passionate about who are watching?
It's amazing, man, because that's why we keep them. You know, to share them with people and to have stories to go along with them. You know, I want to pass these on to my children and their children. And, you know, maybe some things won't matter and we'll get lost in the sauce. But these truly are some gems here, whether it be just personally, emotionally attachment, or eventually could be worth something for real.
For sure.
But it's hell of important, man, because it's like the whole oral tradition of passing on your legacy and your story. And these items help with that, you know? And really quick, I also feel that it's important that you preserve factual history with these items, because it's so easily lost in today's online digital world where people could write something on a blog and it's online and people take it for facts. But if you got a fucking hard copy of some shit, ain't nobody fucking could take that away from it not being facts, you know? And that's another thing, man. It just proves reality.
So if you could also do something for us, what I like to do is, you know, your story starts in LA when you're born, your parents separate, you come to Miami, you go so hard and you continue to bust your butt, and then Drink Champs, you know, is where we're at right now. Of course, right. Evolution is a beautiful thing. However, if you can, what keeps you inspired? What keeps you hyped up? What keeps your battery full in your back?
My crew, my family, and honestly, man, and I'm gonna be real honest with you, you could easily get discouraged in this business. But I think that if you're a hip hop head, you need to understand that hip hop culture and hip hop business or music industry are two different things, and there's a happy medium that you meet, but they're two totally different things, and you could easily get discouraged or jaded in the industry side of things. But what happens is these gems bring me back to why I love hip hop. And traveling the world and meeting cats that are kind of like in their early stages of hip hop, and I see the passion that they have with almost nothing. It's not about money for them the same way it was for us. That keeps me inspired and that keeps me going, you know. And now my kids, I just want to prove to them that, you know, just be consistent and you know, follow your plan all the way, and just, you know, have passion with whatever you're doing. Make sure you do it from a place of passion, at least.
DJ EFN, I was looking forward to meeting you when I went to Miami, and I had to take care of my drunk friend, Static Selector. And but my brother, you empower me. You make me feel taller with the things that you do in this industry. And I admire that so much. And I want to tell you, on the others, your friends, and I'm sure people here, that we love you and we want you to continue being great and staying amazing, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you over the years supporting, man. Like, it doesn't go unnoticed, and I appreciate that.
You got it, man. His name is DJ EFN. Anything he does, support it. I love you, bro. This is a solidarity that should be continued throughout our culture, throughout hip-hop, and throughout the industry, so we could be all stronger. Stay strong. I'm going to try to see if I can give somebody an opportunity to come on.
Peace, brother.
So make sure you guys return. What are you doing, you maniac? Are you doing drugs? Oh, my God. This maniac.
You caught me off guard, son. I wasn't ready.
All right, brother. What do you got for us other than drugs? Because the cops have been called to your house. I snitch.
That's okay. That's okay.
Woo!
Had to step out of the studio into here to show off a few of my things. A few of my things. You know, we got the day laws, right?
Yes.
That's light though. That's light.
I respect that you calling it light.
I used to work for the Fader magazine in Cornerstone, so I used to reap the benefits of a lot of dope promotional Big Boy Converse for his album, his solo album.
Wow. Please put in the light. You always get me mad with this shade stuff. Go.
You got the Big Boy on the tongue. Right?
Fire.
Like I said, I was fortunate enough to work for Cornerstone. We got the Gorillas.
Woo!
They did a Converse for the Gorillas too.
Godzillas.
Dead stock, never worn before.
I say Godzillas. I know it's gorillas. Juggy, you come on to the sneakers the last 10 seconds of the show, brother. You got to come on again, please. Tomorrow, Rich Medina. Most importantly, show off your gems. I love you.